In the top stories, Senator Iselene Phillip assigned portfolios. Teachers training workshops begin, and we have an update on the tropical cyclone alert in effect. The details to these stories and more after the break.
Be ready for school with the coolest deals from Courts. Free gift with your back-to-school purchases, plus big discounts on cell phones, computers, printers, televisions, and more. Shop today with no cash and get instant credit on 3 to 48 months credit plan. Save big with great deals at Head Back to School in Style. Only from Courts. Bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Mosoka, 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 mosoka.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. I'm Jason Davis. Senator Iselene Phillip has been sworn in as Junior Minister with responsibility for the Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Social Development, Gender Affairs, Aging and Disabilities in the Government of St. Kitts and Nevis. The swearing-in ceremony was held on Monday morning at the Government House with oaths administered by the Honourable Justice Patrick Thompson under the guidance of Governor-General Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, GCMG CVO QCJP LLD.
I, Iselene Felicity Kira Phillip.
I, Iselene Felicity Kira Phillip.
Do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance.
Do swear that I will faithfully bear allegiance.
True allegiance.
True allegiance.
To Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
To Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Her heirs and successors.
Her heirs and successors.
According to law.
According to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
The next one. Proceed with it.
Next oath is the oath of office. Final oath is the oath of secrecy.
Senator Phillip assists Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, who has been charged with those portfolios, as well as the Ministry of Education. And speaking of the Ministry of Education, the 2022-2023 school year officially began on Monday as the Ministry of Education welcomed scores of teachers to its summer workshop. The opening ceremony was held at the Rivers of Living Water Christian Center at Limekiln Commercial Development. Chief Education Officer Francil Morris greeted the teachers and promised that the next 4 days of training will give the frontline educators additional tools to ensure that students are exposed to opportunities that maximize their full potential.
I urge all of you, as members of this education sector, to mentally prepare yourselves to be challenged, excited, and inspired in the days ahead, as the professional development opportunities that will be available will ultimately enable us to perform our professional roles effectively and efficiently.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, William Vincent Hodge, noted that the key message for the school year was excellence is not a skill, it is an attitude. The original quote by Ralph Marston will be shared with students when classes begin on Wednesday, September 3.
We now stand at the portal of a new year that officially starts the recovery from devastation brought on by the pandemic. The new school year gives us yet another opportunity to make a fresh start. We must look forward to the unfolding of the year ahead with a renewed sense of direction, of hope, enthusiasm, and excitement.
Mr. Hodge congratulated the new persons being enrolled as teachers for the new school year and those who attained additional qualifications from the Clarence Fitzroy Brand College or university degrees. The teachers were assured that the Ministry of Education will do all within its power to enhance the learning experience, ensuring that students are given a solid foundation to achieve their dreams and aspirations. The U.S.-based National Hurricane Center says a tropical disturbance in the central Atlantic region has a significant chance of becoming a tropical depression being formed in the next 5 days. As of Monday afternoon, the Hurricane Center said, quote, "A broad area of low pressure over the central tropical Atlantic is producing a large area of disorganized cloudiness and showers," end quote. According to a statement from the St. Kitts Meteorological Office, satellite-derived winds indicate that the disturbance was producing winds of 35 miles per hour with higher gusts, and there is a 70% or high chance of the disturbance becoming a tropical cyclone later this week if the center becomes better defined. The disturbance is likely to move slowly to the west and then west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. The public is being urged to activate hurricane preparedness plans if necessary. In other news, Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew attended a social gathering on Saturday organized by the Embassy of Cuba in St. Kitts and Nevis and the St. Kitts and Nevis Cuban Alumni Association. In attendance were the resident ambassador of Cuba to St. Kitts and Nevis, David Rivero Perez, his wife, and staff of the embassy, as well as scores of students who have studied in Cuba, having been afforded scholarships by the Cuban government. Prime Minister Drew also studied medicine in Cuba, where he graduated with first-class honors from the Instituto Superior de Ciencias Médicas in Santa Clara in 1998. Cubans living in St. Kitts and Nevis and Friends of Cuba were also in attendance. After the break, High Court decriminalizes buggery between consenting adults in St. Kitts and Nevis, and nominations open for National Awards honors. Stay with us.
Elevate your experience with Flow's fiber-fast internet and mobile combined. Enjoy double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines, plus up to 35 megabits per second home internet speed at the best rate, giving you the best value to stay connected. I think our Flow mobile is elevated.
You think?
An elevated experience starts with Flow at home, powering double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines at the best rate. Visit a Flow store to sign up today.
Mommy, where did you get all these groceries from?
When my mom was a child, my grandma was only able to provide just what they needed. When my mom got older, she was then able to provide what they needed and some. But now, with FlexPay, I am able to get everything we need and lots more with cashback.
Wow, Mom, I hope this never ends.
For the last 25 years, SN Hospice Company Limited has given customers millions in cashback for free groceries with every hire purchase in their never-ending cashback.
The biggest party in sport is back for the 10th year of CPL.
That is magnificent.
CPL will be bigger, better, and louder than ever, with more sixes, more entertainment, and more of the world's best players. And this year, there's also women's games, with the Women's CPL taking place right here in St. Kitts. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com or at the box office. Join the party. Experience cricket played louder.
What's your reason?
Because on weekends, we have...
Welcome back. On Monday, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court delivered a judgment decriminalizing certain consensual sexual conduct between adults 18 18 years and older in private in St. Kitts and Nevis. The judgment, delivered by His Lordship Mr. Justice Trevor Ward QC, arose from a constitutional motion filed in January of 2021 by Jamal Jeffers, a citizen of the Federation, and the St. Kitts and Nevis Alliance for Equality Incorporated, or SKNAFE. It's a community-based non-profit organization founded by Tynetta McCoy. Mr. Jeffers and SKNAFE sought declarations that Sections 56 and 57 of the Offences Against the Person Act violated specific sections of the Constitution and as such were null and void, and if they applied to consensual intercourse in private between persons 16 years of age and more. Prior to the judgment, it was a criminal offense in St. Kitts and Nevis to commit, quote, the abominable crime of buggery, end quote, and the related offenses of, quote, assault with intent to commit buggery and, quote, indecent assault upon any male person, end quote. These crimes were punishable by imprisonment of a period not exceeding 10 years with or without hard labor. Buggery is defined as anal or oral intercourse by penetration of either sex. In the judgment, the court declared that buggery and related crimes referenced in the Offences Against the Persons Act violated the right to protection of personal privacy and the right to freedom of expression. Therefore, buggery in St. Kitts and Nevis is no longer a crime once it involves acts constituting consensual sexual conduct in private between adults. The Cabinet of the Government of St. Kitts and Nevis was on Monday made aware of the decision. The trial took place on June 10. The Office of the Prime Minister is inviting the general public to submit nominations for the National Honours Awards. Nomination forms for 2022 are now available at the security desk at government headquarters. Persons can nominate individuals for the following categories: the Order of National Hero, which is to be awarded to any citizen who has rendered distinguished and outstanding service to the nation; the Star of Merit, which is awarded for long and meritorious services or for loyal and devoted service to the nation; and the Medal of Honor may be awarded for outstanding and meritorious service to the nation. The forms are to be completed and accompanied by a detailed profile of the nominee and submitted to the Cabinet Secretariat, Office of the Prime Minister, Government Headquarters, Church Street, no later than Friday, 2nd September. Forms submitted late will not be considered. In other news, 2 of the 20 participants who attended the historic Agripreneur conference in Nevis are registering their satisfaction with the event and are calling on the host to stage more of the same. During a field trip to A1 Farms in Gingerland, Nevis on Thursday, the final day of the conference, Carissa Griffin of Nevis and Erta Shiverton of St. Kitts told the Department of Information of their experience during the 3-day conference and what the presentations meant to them. Ms. Griffin stated, quote, "It was very informative where we learned about financial planning, we learned about the different soil textures, we learned about different crops and stuff that we can do, specifically the different aspects of Agripreneur that we can go into," end quote. Ms. Shiverton, who is a farmer, expressed similar sentiments and spoke of her experience. She said, quote, "I was very happy to be on the workshop this week. It was very intuitive and I learned a lot. The tour for the most beneficial part for me was because I was able to witness from another experienced farmer some of the progress that he would have made, especially in terms of greenhouse farming, because that's what I'm particularly interested in," end quote. She also says she would like to see more females venture into farming. The event was hosted by the Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs in Nevis in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture. A national living in New York City who has made a name for himself as a martial arts instructor will be inducted into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania later this year. George Summersall, who is originally from St. Kitts, has been practicing Taekwondo and Hapkido for decades. He currently runs a martial arts school in the Bronx and has also produced self-defense instructional videos. Mr. Summersall's first Hall of Fame induction was the World Karate Union Hall of Fame in 2004. Following shortly was his induction into the Taekwondo Hall of Fame and the Jiu-Jitsu Hall of Fame, also in 2004. He was also inducted into the USA International Black Belt Hall of Fame in 2005 and the Taekwondo Hall of Fame in Seoul, South Korea in 2011. In 2016, Grandmaster George was inducted into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame and was awarded with the Martial Arts Excellence Award. Mr. Summersall currently serves as Assistant Director and Technical Advisor on the International Taekwondo Hall of Fame Board representing the East Coast of the United States. Coming up in regional news, Trinidad Film wins 2 international awards. The details when we